Hello everyone and welcome to day 246 of Project 365. Today I have to talk about the biggest idiot in the United States yet again, and that is Mr. Glenn Beck. In a recent airing on the radio, Glenn Beck said that essentially slavery wasn't as bad until government regulation came along. Let that sink in, let that sink in. Slavery wasn't as bad until government regulation. Let's break this one down. I don't think we need to, but let's go ahead and break this one down anyway for people who aren't quite understanding this. First of all, slavery in all of its facets are wrong. It's a violation of human rights to make someone work against their will and to treat someone as property. I'm sure we can all agree on this. Yes? Okay. So, let's assume that that isn't wrong. Slavery, even in colonial times, didn't begin in some courtroom or some legislation like Mr. Glenn Beck asserts. It actually started with the Atlantic slave trade back in the 17th century, before there was actually any formal government. And then let's also not forget that most individuals were tricked or stolen from their native tribes and brought over here in extremely cramped spaces and put through horrendous conditions in order to just get here. So apparently that isn't wrong either. So just his incredulously stupid assertion, it's scary, really. This man scares me. I didn't think there could be that much stupid condensed into an individual, but he has proved me wrong. And this whole analogy came forth from his claim that the healthcare bill is creating slaves out of individuals, which I think is ridiculous. Whilst from what I've heard, it isn't doing everything that it's supposed to. This type of thing takes time to really get full in effect. From what I remember for this year alone, for 2010, when all that was supposed to be enacted was that healthcare would be extended for individuals up until they were 25 if their parents had healthcare, and B, no one could be knocked off any of their premiums from a healthcare company. While this is making prices raise, which is understandable because we have the baby boom generation entering their elderly years, actually essentially means more people going on Social Security, which is in turn actually creating talk about raising the age for Social Security, which is kind of scary actually, and really won't solve anything just because of the fact that the baby boom generation is sort of aging at the same rate. Anyway, that's not what I'm going at here, but nonetheless, healthcare reform, it's going to take time. I think what a lot of Americans thought when it was first enacted was that it would be a quick instant fix. But at this rate, I can see, from what I can see, I'm predicting maybe another 6 months to a year before it's actually fully effective in terms of getting the results that people are desiring. What scares me is the fact that a lot of people didn't really read much into the healthcare bill. I mean, it was, what, 200 plus pages? And they didn't really read much into it. They didn't realize that a lot of the stuff wasn't coming until a few years later. And this was just because we need money to do some of these things, and so we're hoping to build up that money in those later years. It isn't going to be some instantaneous result, and I think that's what a lot of people were expecting. And I'm assuming that that's what Mr. Glenn Beck here is expecting, is that it was supposed to be some instantaneous quick fix for everything, when in reality it wasn't. It was supposed to create a sort of permanent solution that would take time to build up. And it's kind of scary, the fact that people don't read into these things a little bit more. It's kind of funny, we're discussing this poli-sci, the fact that we need a well-informed population in order to be a true democracy in terms of popular sovereignty. One of the main ideals is high-quality information being available at all times. However, when we have individuals like Glenn Beck or Bill O'Reilly or Rush Limbaugh going out and spouting their nonsense, not that I'm saying that the liberals don't have their individual spouting nonsense too, I just tend to agree with the liberals a bit more. Anyway, Glenn Beck, dear sir, you're the biggest idiot I've ever seen. You need to go die in a fire. Someone needs to kill you, murder you, anything really to eliminate you, because quite frankly, you are scary. Your stupidity, your immense stupidity, is the scariest thing that I have ever seen. It can only be matched by George Bush, and at least George Bush knew when to be quiet. Anyway, My question for you guys is, how do you feel about this statement? I'm going to go ahead and link you to the article that I read, and then it also has a sound clip in the article that you can listen to so you can hear exactly what he said. I tried not to pull anything out of context entirely, but nonetheless, when I heard him say this, I was morally outraged, and I had to say something about it. So, yeah, that's it for today, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.